Hi there, Celia Gates, welcome back. Day 2 of this strategic business growth over 30 days. Now yesterday I asked you to write down what that root cause was, what the real problem was that you were solving for your clients. And today I'm going to ask you to give some thought as to who actually faces this problem first. Now, invariably your solution might be of benefit to a huge number of different people from all sorts of different walks of life and with varying abilities and the rest of it. But I'm going to ask you to be really specific about who faces this problem that you've identified. Who faces that problem first? Now, it's important that you acknowledge this. I'll give you an example with my own cookware. So I explained to you that my grandmother had been suffering from osteoarthritis and that this had sort of prompted me into designing a product that won the British Consumer Invention of the Year. And actually that was a saucepan that had an ergonomic handle, so it curved down, making it much safer and easier to grip. Now, where I went wrong in the early days was that I had that designer's ego. So where does a designer really want their product positioned? Well, at the high end, of course, that's where the greatest profits are, that's where the kind of prosperity comes from, that's where the credibility in terms of being a fancy designer comes from. But in reality, I lost focus of who benefits from this design the most. And that was people like my grandmother, people who were suffering from osteoarthritis, people who had weak wrists already. And they weren't necessarily the ones spending the money in the fancy design shops. So I missed my primary target market in the very early days. It wasn't until I conducted some small-scale testing that I quickly realised I had to reposition myself back where the problem had stemmed from. So I'd noticed the problem because my grandmother was struggling. All I had to really do was look for more people like her and promote to them because they were the ones that were going to benefit first. So look at your potential problem and identify who are the ones that face this problem first. They're your profitable pioneers as such. They're the ones that are going to be the first people to embrace whatever this new product, service, technology, whatever it is that you're creating. They're the ones that will embrace it first. So it's very important that you identify who these people actually are. If you've got their names and addresses, so much the better. But if not, start to stereotype them. My grandmother I can stereotype relatively easily, even though she'd killed me. She's a very unique character. But in terms of her age, in terms of what she was suffering from, in terms of her lifestyle choices, these are all people which you could categorise to an extent. So start to look at who faces that problem that you've identified, who faces it first, and really list out their stereotypical characteristics, where they hang out, what they do with their time, what sort of people they mix with, what they talk about in conversations. Get into the mindset of who faces these problems first. Become aware of your primary audience who are going to make sure that you strategically set out to position as becoming your profitable pioneers. So list out those people, become clear of who they are in your mind, know their language so that you can talk directly to them. And I'll look forward to sharing more with you tomorrow.